Hello, this is David Wolford, and I'd like to invite you to go on a hike with me. Today, we're climbing up Mount Elbert, which is the highest 14er in Colorado. That's a mountain that's over 14,000 feet. And climbing with me today are my son Joshua, who's about half my age. He's 30 years old. And my grandson Jordan, who's about 1/5 my age. He just turned 12 recently, and and we're climbing Mount Elbert, as I said, and we've picked like the hardest, steepest trail up the mountain, mostly because it was close to where we were camping, and because it was the shortest trail. I'll tell you right now, we did not make it up to the top of Mount Elbert. We ran out of time, and I was when I got up around 13,000 feet. The altitude was affecting me quite a bit, and I was just barely crawling along at that point. So my son went up on ahead, and I'll tell you what, he's lived in Colorado for about um, 2 years now, and he's totally used to the altitude. And he he doesn't even get winded when he climbs these mountains. So he probably could have made it up to the top if we weren't slowing him down. But anyway, he he had mercy on us and went slow and up the steep and rocky mountain. But I still got a lot of good video, and I got to see a lot of nature, and I just enjoy being out in nature a lot. I like the seeing the flowers and the great mountain views. I like seeing the wildlife, and I really, for some reason, I really love pine trees. I guess it's maybe the scent of the pine trees, the shape. They kind of look like big church steeples everywhere. Um, but all the mountain streams are just gorgeous as you're going up that clear, pure looking water. And we brought camelbacks for our water. We didn't drink out of the streams, but if you have a water filter, you can drink out of the streams on the way up. Uh, you have to be careful though not to just drink from the stream. You could get uh, giardia from it, which so we decided just to use our camelbacks, and we did just fine. There's a beautiful mountain view right there, looking in between the pine trees, and that's the payoff for all the hard work of hiking and dealing with the altitude. There's that pure spring water. Well, it's snow melt water. It's not spring water, uh, more than likely. There's the beautiful pine trees. I just like walking through the middle of them and looking up and seeing the green against the blue sky. My grandson is pointing out some of the snow that you can see on the mountain there, so I zoomed in. I've got a pretty good video camera. The video camera is actually uh, a zoom lens, or it's built around a zoom lens. It's a zoom lens with the camera built around it, so I can get pretty close to nature and everything with my camera without getting close to the animals and stuff physically. But I just enjoy these mountain views, and it reminds me of that song "How Great Thou Art." There's a verse in there that goes, "When through the woods and forest glades I wander, and hear the birds sing sweetly in the trees, When I look down from lofty mountain grandeur and hear the brook or feel the gentle breeze, then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee, how great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee, how great thou art, how great thou art. Well, I connect a lot to God through nature. Oh, there's that little, one of the little chipmunks I saw along the trail. He's a active little guy, hopping around all over the place, and actually quite an athlete, as you should be able to see in a second when he makes a great leap of faith there. Maybe he's read Nietzsche or something. I don't know. Wow, that's pretty amazing. Oh, there's my grandson way up ahead of me. He's slowing down a little bit too at this point because we're getting pretty high up there. Altitude is having an effect on him too. But he's still ahead of me. There's part of the rocky, steep trail. And there's one of those gorgeous views of the mountain flowers in the foreground. And we're right about here. We're getting pretty close to the tree line. That's the part of the mountain where the trees don't grow anymore because it's just the altitude is just too high. The air is too thin. But we're still in the trees, but we're getting pretty close to it. Look at that view. Isn't that something? Isn't that glorious? That is something else. Wow. There are a few places in Texas where you can get views like this, but they're either very far south and west. The Guadalupe Mountains are real pretty, and the Big Bend area. I climbed a mountain down there once in Big Bend, and although on that day we couldn't see anything because the mountain was totally covered. We were in a cloud. It was totally covered by clouds. So, but on other days we saw some really good views from other points. But my granddaughters and my daughter and my son-in-law live in Colorado, and that's a good excuse to go up to Colorado. I get to see them, and I get to see views like this. I get to go hiking. It was their idea for me to try to climb this 14er. I think that little mouse is called a pika. I'm not sure. Some kind of a little mouse that lives up there. He looks like he's wearing a parka. No, there's another chipmunk. Back to the pika again. He's, I don't know. I don't generally like mice, but if you're going to say a mouse is cute, I would say that thing is cute. Or rodent. Here's some of those mountain flowers. And there's the ridge top that my son got to. Well, thanks a lot for being along on the hike with me. This is the end of it. Hope you enjoyed it, and maybe we'll do this again sometime.